Peace. What's up? So I have a little story to tell, and it's a little bit funny, and it's informative, and it could just also be inspirational, so you can know your rights and how to handle yourself amongst the justice system. So, okay, this came to mind because I was paying a ticket online. It wasn't a moving violation like the ones in this story, but anyway, that's what made me think of this. I said, oh, I'm going to tell that story to YouTube. All right. So this goes back to now I'm going to say what the subject of the story pretty much is going to be me fighting tickets in court. Okay. So story starts off, I'm in Virginia, and so I used to commute back and forth to work. So first I used to have to drop my daughter off. So I lived in Norfolk, Virginia. I used to have to drop my daughter off in Chesapeake, Virginia, at the babysitter, and then I used to work in Virginia Beach, Virginia. All right. So I used to have to travel I-64. So I remember I dropped her off this particular morning, and I was running late. And story of my life, I was running a bit late, so I would speed to work. If I'm late, so I got on the expressway, 64, and I just remember that day there were hardly no traffic. It's like no one anywhere around. So I was out, pew, about to get to work. So next thing I know, out of nowhere, I see a state trooper or whoever, cop, coming up behind me with the lights on. Now my rear view coming up fast behind me to the point where I'm thinking that they trying to go around me. So I started to try to move over. He came over with me, so I knew I was the victim. Because that's not my first time having that experience. You think they trying to go around. You're like, oh, they trying to go around me. Like, nah, we want you. Nah, we looking for you. So he pulled me over. He gave me all these tickets because I also had like a crack in my windshield from a rock that flew up on my windshield. And I know he gave me reckless driving. I don't know what else, but I know I at least had 3 tickets. I know I at least had 3. So that was it. I ain't argue with him, nothing. So then my mind just started thinking like, I think I could fight some of these, you know? And so that was the plan. So come court day, I got dressed up real sharp. I had like a pantsuit on, not a pantsuit, but a skirt suit. And I had like my head wrapped up, some real pretty wrapping that matched with my outfit. I had some bad shoes on. I had a bag, like over the shoulder bag where I had my evidence in and whatnot. But I just remember I was sharp. So, and pretty and sharp, That could get you a lot sometimes. So, I went to just showing you how my appearance was, when I was coming into the courthouse, the security guard asked me, was I an attorney? And I was like, oh no. And so, but I felt good inside, like, yeah, exactly. Jackpot, that's what I was going for. And so now we in the court. So it's a bunch of people in there. So the way it was going, after a while, I saw I was never getting called or whatever. And the way it was going was each state trooper had whoever, they blocked everybody's tickets into the same block, basically. So my trooper ended up being the last one. And when I say at least half of everybody in the courtroom was there for him. So obviously he that bull. You know what I mean? He's that bull when it comes to giving out tickets. So I'm peeping everything. So I'm sitting back waiting my turn. Now I'm paying attention. So I'm watching how he interact with the judge. Like, oh, okay. Okay, judge really respect him. Okay. And I see how he acting too. The trooper, he a little cocky with it. I'm peeping everything. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna use all that. All that is gonna come. Okay, thank you. So now it's my turn. So when I get up there, I'm very professional with the judge. Now keep in mind this is at least 2004 maybe. So I don't. My memory is very foggy. But I know I interacted, however I did, even with respect to the trooper and everything. So when the judge started reading my charges, then he asking me, what do I plead? So he started off and he said, operating unsafe equipment for the windshield one. And I was like, before I answer, Your Honor, can I ask a question? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, when it says operating, I was like, I don't want to say guilty because I was unaware that that was considered unsafe. I was like, so if I say guilty, what I mean, or whatever. And so then he was like, oh, he was like, nah, he's like, let's just go with not guilty. So I was like, okay. And so then when we got to he's like reckless driving, going, I think it was like 90 and a 65, something like that, right? So I'm like, not guilty. And so I believe the officer went first, I believe. And so he said, I was traveling 64. I paced the driver, going such and such and such, and this and that and the third, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, so after, when the time was right, I asked the judge, I say, Your Honor, can I ask the officer a question? Yo, I love how I be in court, yo. I really be acting up. I said, can I ask the officer a question? He was like, sure, go ahead. And I was like, for the pacing method of tracking speed, I said, and I'm saying this, I say because 90 miles an hour, I said that is so excessive. And I said, like, I mean, I know I not paying attention, I probably was going a little above the speed limit. I was like, but 90? That, I just cannot believe that. So I said, what I'm trying to do is trying to figure out, how do you go about pacing another vehicle? What's the policy on that? Like, how long are you supposed to be behind them? How long does it, and do you, and he was like, what you do is, and then he broke it down like all like, for such and such a miles, he was like, I stay the same distance behind the car for such and such a miles, and then from the beginning to the end, then that's how I know how fast they're going or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so what's the minimum amount of miles that you would have to be traveling behind the other car? And then he said whatever he said. I was like, because when you came behind me, I said it wasn't too far from, I said I got on at the Brambleton exit. I said, and then, or on ramp. And I was like, and then the next on ramp was such and such. And I said, and you pulled me over right after that next on ramp. I said, matter of fact, I have a diagram that I made. And I pulled out a diagram. I got 64, I got the little on ramps and stuff like that. And I got Brambleton, then I got the other exit. And I'm pointing at it. And I'm like, you see, I said, when you came behind me, I said, it was right here. And I was like, it was only right after this on-ramp here. I said, and the only other on-ramp you could have came on would have been mine, the same one I came on. I said, but I didn't, I was like, it was no one on the road. I said, you were nowhere behind me or anything at that on-ramp. I said, so, oh no, at some point I did ask him, yeah, way in the,